Hey, what's up everybody? I know this is a little different setup. You can see cars going by outside and you can see it's snowing. Decided to move stuff because I figured this would be ample time to talk about my top 10 games of my 23 years of life pretty much. Since we're going into a new year and I'll be 24 next year, I figured what the hell, let's go ahead and do it now. Not much is changing. My top 10 hasn't changed at all. So I figured I'd let you guys know what my top 10 games are. So right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and start this off. It's an oldie, but it's definitely my number one favorite game. It would have to be Secret of Mana for the SNES. It is definitely a pinnacle RPG to me. It still stands today as one of the better RPGs on the console. I know people would disagree and say Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger, which they're both relatively great RPGs. I felt when I was playing Secret of Mana, I felt more immersed in that game, just because of the gameplay elements and the story that lurked behind it, which was relatively dark and kind of mysterious. There's a lot of unanswered questions, and there was also a sequel to the game. It was known as Seiken Densetsu, I think 3, which is like Secret of Mana 2, and there's other games like Sword of Mana and Legend of Mana. There's different games, but they definitely don't stack up to the quality of the first one and being able to play it and enjoy it with other people, because there is a, I guess, co-op feature in the old Secret of Mana game. So if anybody hasn't checked that game out, I advise you to track yourself down a copy through Amazon or eBay or whatever means you can acquire this. Try it out. Let me know what you think about it. It's definitely one of my top tier games that I advise anybody to check out. Number 2 would be Borderlands 2. This game came out this year of 2012. And with the year coming to a close, it's nice to see that Gearbox and I think it's 2K is still putting out like amazing content for Borderlands 2. They promised a bunch of amazing content. I haven't played the other two that have come out, but I've heard nothing but good things about them. I was skeptical in the arena, but apparently it's shaping up to be really, really good. I probably spent maybe 30, 40 hours playing Borderlands 2 with Chad and just going through the story, playing with Joseph as well. We all enjoyed the game. It was really, really good. I liked how it picked up from where the first one leaves off, and that you actually get to meet the other Vault Hunters. And I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I honestly think there will be a third one, just because the way it ends, it feels like it's very open to the possibilities of there being more Borderlands games. So if nobody has played Borderlands 2, also check out that game, because the first one was good, so the second one's really good. Number 3 would be The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. This came out years ago. I ended up acquiring it on the GameCube when it had come out. I'd followed the game for a good while, and as everybody knows, it kept getting scheduled and postponed and scheduled and postponed. It kept doing a lot of that back and forth stuff that games like to do, just like Bioshock Infinite's doing right now. But I begged and begged and begged to find this game, to get this game. My parents had a hard time finding it. Luckily, I think it was about a week before Christmas, I picked up a copy of it at Toys R Us. I went with my mom, picked it up, so I knew I had it in my hands the day of Christmas. Christmas Day rolled around, I opened it up, and I pretty much ignored everybody after I opened that gift. I ran to my room, started playing it, and instantly I fell in love with this game. It was dark, it was a different take on the Zelda franchise. It looked beautiful. Even for GameCube, it looked amazing. Like, I know they re-released it for the Wii, and it had a little bit of graphical improvement. But Twilight Princess, to me, stands as number 3 because just the overall story is just amazing. The different enemies you encounter, the different weapons you get, just like Hylia or however you say it, looked amazing. The big, vast, open world of Hyrule was just beautifully done. And I don't know, I just fell in love with the game. It was so simplified to this dark, grungy feel that when you played it, it didn't get stale because it was so different from the other Zelda games. I will admit the wolf parts kind of got old, but it kept you on your toes, wondering what song am I going to have to learn, what am I going to have to do next, what attacks are going to work on this enemy, such and such. And it was unique to see that you didn't have the ocarina anymore. You found different like sorts of grass, or you did like different howls with the wolf to summon or do different things. Like I know you could summon a bird. You could summon Epona with, I think it was whistlegrass or something like that. You could do different things like that. So it was nice to see that it was a completely different take on the Zelda game. And it kind of bordered on the Ocarina of Time. The transition between kid and adult was in Ocarina, as where in Twilight you bordered between being an adult and a wolf. And you also had that light world versus dark world, which is where, like in Ocarina, when you were a kid, it was kind of like the light world where you had to collect the spiritual stones. As to where when you were an adult, it was the dark world because Ganon had already taken Hyrule Castle and it was all evil and mysterious and shit. So it was nice to see that. So yeah, number 3 is Twilight Princess. Number 4 for me would have to be Alan Wake. I was gifted this game by my friend Joseph, who you heard me mention earlier. He gifted me this game last Halloween, and I hadn't really had any strong feelings towards the game either way. I was just like, oh, it's another game. I'll probably play it when I'm bored. It probably won't be that interesting because it looked fucking hard. But I sat down and I buckled down to play this game, and I fell in love instantly. Like, it's dark, it's creepy, it keeps you on your toes to see what's going to happen in the next coming episodes. It makes you think on your feet. It's not one of those games where it's just a stroll through the park. Like, you actually have to pay attention to your surroundings. You have to maneuver some tricky sorts of evasive maneuvers because you have like stamina and all that different stuff. But it was nice to see that it took on its own like little world after. It's pretty much about a book that he writes that comes to life, which it starts happening to him, which is unique in its own because it's very, very mysterious. I know a lot of it's based around a show called Twin Peaks, from what I've been told. I've never seen that show, but if they can make a game as good as that based off a TV show, I can only imagine what a sequel to that will be. I had not played American Nightmare. I haven't heard relatively good things about American Nightmare, as seeing as it's not a true sequel to Alan Wake. Whether that's true or not, I don't really know. But I'm definitely hoping that there will be a sequel coming up in 2013. So I'm looking forward to that. Number 5 would have to be another old game that I love. I bought on Steam. I bought all like the packet of them. Which is Oddworld. Oddworld is one of those games that is quirky, goofy, very over the top. It's funny. You can do all kinds of goofy shit in that. I know there's Oddworld Abe's Exodus, Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, Oddworld Munch's Odyssey, which was released on the Xbox, and Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, I believe, which were the 4 games you can get in the Oddbox if you have Steam or whatever. But I acquired all of them like a couple years ago, actually. And the ones that really stand out to me that are still amazing are the old ones for PlayStation 1, which are Abe's Odyssey and Abe's Exodus. They're a little different. They start off differently, but they kind of tie together. I believe Exodus is like 2 or 3 years after Odyssey starts, or it's the other way around. I'm not 100% sure, so don't, criticize me if I'm wrong about that. But yeah, they're so quirky and over the top. Pretty much what you do in the game is you play as Abe, of course, and pretty much you're rescuing your fellow tribe members, pretty much. And it takes you all over this, the Odd World. It takes you from the Odd World Inhabitants Laboratory to like the jungle, just all over the place. I've never finished the game. It's a relatively long game, but from how far I've gotten in a game just goes to show that even PlayStation 1 games were relatively lengthy for this, like the size they were and the price that they were. So yeah, Oddworld, Abe's Exodus or Odyssey is number 5. Number 6 would be Guild Wars 2. This had to be in my top 10. This came out 2012 as well. I talk about this game pretty much all the time. Me and Chad were right into it. We were hooked into it. We knew we were going to get it. I guarantee I've logged, that's the most hours I've ever logged in an MMO next to RuneScape. Just everything they've done with that game is quantifiably better than the first one. It's more open, there's events, there's just everything about it. Like, the home areas are beautifully done, the art style is amazing. Just the community of people in the game is relatively nice. You don't have all these assholes like you would have in World of Warcraft or games like that. Like, there was even assholes in RuneScape, so it happens no matter what game you play, which I'm surprised that it's not happening in Guild Wars 2. Everybody's relatively nice about things. If you watch the other vlogs, you've seen I've talked about the Halloween, the Lost Shores. I talked a little bit about the Christmas event. All the events so far have been amazing. I can only wait to see what they do in the future. Guild Wars 1 had all these different expansion packs. I can't wait to see what they add. Maybe new character classes, maybe new weapons, stuff like that. So, ArenaNet, if you're watching this, I can't wait for the expansions. Make some good shit. So yeah, that is number 6 on my list, is Guild Wars 2. Number 7 is a game I'm pretty sure a lot of people have already played by now. And you're going to laugh at me when I say this, but I love this game. And I think a lot of people seem to enjoy this game, which is Minecraft. I love Minecraft. Me and Chad have done nothing but play Minecraft videos, or play Minecraft and look at Minecraft videos. That's the way I wanted to say that. And it's just, the free range you have with Minecraft is so vast and completely crazy, because you can be super creative or you can just be lazy and do nothing. We just started a Christmas texture pack, building our own like little Christmas thing, just for Christmas night pretty much, and we're having a blast with it. Minecraft is one of those games where it's pretty much fully customizable if you know what you're doing. There's so many mods for it, so many texture packs to make the game look various ways. There's various playstyles. There's adventure maps. There's creative mode if you just want to go in and do pixel art or just build a giant castle. Whatever you want to do. Minecraft is your personal playground pretty much to just do whatever the hell you want. Which is why it's definitely one of those games where if you buy it and you sit down with it for 5 minutes, you're hooked no matter what. I guarantee you that I played the alpha and I hated it, and then as soon as Minecraft went beta, I ended up getting it, played it for maybe 20 minutes, and I was like, alright, I'm sold. I can do whatever the hell I want. And with each update that comes out, like, the game just gets better and better, in my opinion. And it's also on Xbox, which is awesome. But it's not quite up to par with the PC version. So, regardless of what your preference is, of what platform you play on, mine would be PC, but if you prefer Xbox, that's fine as well. They're both good games, so Minecraft is my number 7. Number 8 is a game that came out. It's also an MMO. I played with Chad as well. Would be Diablo 3. Diablo 3 gets a lot of hate. Right now, I'm kind of in a love-hate relationship with it as well. I haven't played it since I've beaten it, which would be like months and months ago. I'm basically hating the security with it because I had some issues with logging in and my shit getting stolen, which this would make the 3rd time. So, Battle.net, get your shit together, please. But yeah, the game stands out as a pinnacle game of 2012 as well to me. It's definitely one of the MMOs that was very anticipated, but a lot of people feel that it was a big letdown. I honestly don't feel like it was a big letdown. It lived up to what it was supposed to be, and they're still adding to it. Like, they're not leaving Diablo 3 in the dust being like, okay, well, we fucked up. We're not going to add anything. We're just going to let it alone. They're still adding to it. I know they added a Paragon system. They added more magical finds, all kinds of different stuff. Like I said, I haven't played it since I've beaten it, so I haven't seen these changes implemented yet. But eventually I will go back to it and check out what's new. I'll probably run through it with Chad. We had a couple Diablo 3 videos. We had the one where we were in Whimsyshire, which is like the My Little Pony world, I guess. And I loved it. If anybody doesn't remember, in Diablo 2 there was the cow world. It was like the Mad Cow world. And you fought just nothing but cows, pretty much. And it was unique that there was the secret level in that. And for Diablo 3 to take and listen to the fans and be like, they love the secret level, let's just add another one, just make it even crazier, is a good thing, because Diablo 3 does listen to its fans. It's just, I wish they would listen more, because they hear what they want to hear, and they're like, well, we know this will sell, but the criticism is the kind of stuff that they don't take in. And I feel that they just ignore all the criticism they get, which is smart in its own, because if you're constantly getting criticized, you don't want to hear all that shit all the time. So it's good to ignore certain things and take in certain things, especially if it's advice about how to improve your game or stuff your fans would like to see, pretty much. So yeah, number 8 would be Guild Wars 2. Diablo 3. Sorry, I really fucked that up. I don't have anything written down, so this is off the dome. Number 9 is a game that I also picked up this year. Is it maybe? Yeah, it was this year. I was going to say last year, but I picked it up this year, and it came with DLC when I ended up getting it, which would be Binding of Isaac. I know a lot of people play this game. I've watched countless streams on Twitch, people playing Binding of Isaac. I've played almost probably, I want to say, close to 120 hours of Binding of Isaac, and it just gets better and better as you play through it. It's basically a old school type Zelda game, very dark and very gory, very crazy, zany, kooky, whatever you want to call it. Because with each like little power up or ability you get, it adds different things. Like I know if you get the whips, you get whiplashes all over your faces, all over your face. I mean, if you pick up the unborn fetus, it gets attached to your head, like the woman from South Park. If you get mom's underwear, you wear them. If you get a child's heart, it gets wrapped around your neck. If you get umbilical cord, it gets wrapped around your body. Mom's lipstick, you wear lipstick. I found what is it? I think it was called a Botox shot or something like that. Gives you big lips. I found cuteness syndrome or something like that. It pretty much makes you smile, make you have like really girly looking eyes. The game's just fucking nuts. All the different like abilities that your character gets and all that different stuff. And with the DLC Wrath of the Lamb, it added a lot to the game that was how do I put this? It added a lot to the game that increased the difficulty, but it also added enough to keep you wanting to play, to want you to unlock certain things. It also added, I believe, challenges. Some are as big as playing as the blue dead baby, which is relatively hard. Playing as Maggie or Magdalene, whatever her name is. There's one called In the Dark, which is you have no map. You're pretty much just wandering around, finding your own way everywhere. So it added enough to the game to make the game like 100 times better than it already was. Like the game was 100. How do I put this? The game was at a 95 out of 100 for me. With Wrath of the Lamb, it was at a 198 out of 200. I'll put it that way. I'll give it 2 separate scores. But yeah, it definitely made the game better, and it definitely added a lot more. I'm hoping to see more content for Binding of Isaac, whether there will be or not. Ed McMullen, however you say his name, he hasn't really like clarified that there was going to be any additional stuff. I know they released the Basement Collection, and they're also working on a new, I think it's called Super Meat Boy World, Super Meat Boy Adventures or something. But I'm hoping they don't completely forget about Isaac and they do put more content out, because I would love to see that shit. And this will be the last item on my list, which is number 10. It will be a game that I know a lot of people probably haven't played, because it's back on the Genesis. It's relatively old, I guess, since it's the Genesis. it definitely stands in my mind as a game that should be remastered or released on Xbox Live or something, which is Vector Man. I don't think a lot of people have played Vector Man. Pretty much, he was just a green being made out of balls, and it reminded me of Mega Man in a way. Pretty much, when you shoot, it reminds me of the Mega Buster. Me being a big Mega Man fan, seeing this game, it was impressive because it was a fast-paced side-scroll shooter platformer type game. Didn't border on the same difficulties as Mega Man, because Mega Mans were kind of difficult back then. Let's face it, because the jumps were kind of screwy. But you got like different abilities. You could become a drill. You could become a helicopter. All kinds of different stuff. There was a sequel made as well, so Vector Man 2. Definitely go on there as well. Just pretty much the Vector Man series in general. It hasn't saw the light of day in almost like 10 years or longer. But yeah, I would love to see this to be redone for, like I said, consoles of today. It would be a nice thing to see, considering it's one of those games. It's not rare or anything. Like, I'm pretty sure you could find it if you look at like a flea market or online or whatever. It's just one of those games where you sat and you played it and you thought to yourself, wow, this is really good. It reminds me of Mega Man. It reminds me of Journey to Silius. Like, it reminds me of a lot of those games, except it's Vector Man. Put it that way. But yeah, those are my top 10 games of my 23 years of life, pretty much. I guess I'll do top 10 honorable mentions now. Top 10 honorable mentions, I'm just going to name them, not really going to go into detail about them. Number 1 would be Chrono Trigger. Yeah. Number 2 would be Mega Man itself. I would say probably the Mega Man X series. Actually, no, Mega Man Legends series, because let's just face it, Mega Man Legends was a different take, and a lot of people, it was a love-hate thing with that game as well. A lot of people didn't care for it, but I definitely enjoyed Mega Man Legends. It's sad to see that it's sad to say that we'll never see Mega Man Legends 3, which Capcom really fucked up on that one because a lot of people wanted it, and it probably would have sold good, so sorry, Capcom, you just fucked yourself. Number 3 would be Castlevania 4, or Super Castlevania, or whatever. Basically because it was the best Castlevania game in my opinion, next to Symphony of the Night. It stacks up well against Symphony of the Night, but I feel that you could go back anytime, any day, and play Castlevania 4 and just live that nostalgia. Number 4 would be Super Metroid. Me and Chad talk about Metroid probably only on and off, and I've played with Chad. I've played Metroid with Chad through Yahoo like a long time ago. We were watching each other play through and trying to compete against each other, I guess. And yeah, Metroid's definitely one of those games where you can go back to it anytime as well. Another game that would go on there, well, another game that would be like with Metroid would be Shadow Complex, simply because it was a Metroid style game released on the Xbox, but there was never a sequel made, which I really, really hope that in the back of their head they're like, dude, a lot of people like this game. We need a sequel. We need Shadow Complex 2. Like, people are clamoring for this game like nothing else. I don't remember what number I was on. Shit. Well, I will just name off some more games then. I think I'm on number 5. So, number 5 would end up being a game for the Sega as well. Would be Splatterhouse. Not the new one. The new one was okay. I actually liked the new one. I know a lot of people hated the shit out of the new one. I enjoyed the new one. I don't know if it's just my experience as a gamer, giving everything one shot, or, you know, just criticizing everything as soon as I play it. But I actually liked that game a lot. I like the old style beat 'em ups like Streets of Rage and stuff like that, and it was close to that, except it was in a 3D environment. But yeah, the Splatterhouse series for Sega would be my number 5, just because, let's face it, it's Splatterhouse. It's the perfect horror theme type game for Halloween or whatever. Number 6 would be Metal Gear Solid 3. This doesn't make my top 10, and I don't know why it's not higher on my list. Like, I love the game. I honestly think it's not higher on my list because we all know about Metal Gear 3. We know how good it is, and it gets so much praise, and it is well deserving to be in my top 10, but it just falls short of it. So yeah, Metal Gear 3. Number 7 would be a game I got on Steam a while back, and it's an odd game. It's really weird. It kind of takes that role of RPG slash fighter slash mystery type thing, and it's called Vampire the Masquerade. It's just one of those games where you see it, you're like, yep, it's gonna be that kind of game where it's gonna be difficult, it's gonna have its funny moments, it's gonna have its go fuck yourself moments. Pretty much, it's just, like I said, one of those games. Number 8 would be a game called Rainbow Six Vegas 2, or just the Rainbow Six Vegas series in general. Simply because I've sunk a lot of hours playing the Terrorist Hunt on there, playing through the story, trying to get the achievements for the 360. I owned it, and I traded it in, and immediately after I got my new Xbox, I felt empty, and it was the shooter I went to. It's like a tactical style SWAT type shooter, I guess you want to call it. It's definitely one of those games I advise people to check out if you've never played any of the Rainbow Six games. I am honestly looking forward to Rainbow Six Patriots. I feel that it's going to be an amazing game. It's definitely going to be a well-made game. Tom Clancy games are normally good, all but End War. Like, we all know how End War was, so I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six series is fucking awesome. And number 10 would be Cave Story Plus. It was the remastered version for Steam, I believe. It had remastered music by Danny Baranowski, the guy who does the music for Isaac and Meat Boy. It was just a side-scroller, pixel side-scroller, I guess, game. It's one of those humble games where you play it and you're just like, this is probably one of the coolest fucking indie games I have played in the longest time. I believe it was an indie game at one time, and then it went big, and then everybody went ape shit about it. I believe it's on the Wii, it's on the DS. Shit, it's probably on everything by now. But it definitely stands out as one of those games that manages to make my honorable mentions of top 10, simply because it's a good game. I advise anybody that hasn't played that game to check that out as well. Now, here's where I break it down and talk about some games that I've played that kind of just should be avoided, or people should stray away from. So I'll probably just do about 5 of these, because I really can't think of many games I didn't enjoy. But we're just gonna, jump right into it. Number 1, I just finished this game. I talked about it in the last vlog. And it would be a little game called Dead Island. I played, like I said, roughly 20 or more hours of that game. I streamed probably almost all of the game except maybe a couple parts that I was having trouble getting through, didn't feel like getting ragey on stream. I honestly feel, I see what the game was going for, like the mechanics were good and everything. And, you know, it was nice to see, like it was a pretty looking game and everything, and I was like super excited from when it first came out. But, yeah, it fell short of being anything amazing, simply because it's full of glitches, it's full of unfair situations, it's full of those where the fuck do I go kind of moments. It's also one of those, if you die, you don't have money to repair items, which kind of just kills it because you need your weapons to fight off the zombies. And it's also filled with some of the weirdest deaths I've seen in the longest time. There's probably a clip on Twitch where I think they're called ogres or brutes or the chargers or whatever you want to call them. They kind of remind me of the tanks or whatever from Left 4 Dead. But pretty much I had the door closed. He's on the other side, and he managed to boot me through the door and kill me. So that happened. There's also probably a clip where I'm kicking a beach ball and it instantly killed me somehow. I don't understand some of these deaths. I don't know if it's just stupid little programming errors that cause this or what. But it's just stuff like that that's in the game that kind of just makes it to where it kills it for me. To where it's not an enjoyable experience to play it anymore. Another game that I believe a lot of people should avoid is Alone in the Dark. I still own this game. I haven't finished this game. Simply avoiding this game basically because the maneuverability and the inventory for that game is just completely out of control. You have to open your trench coat and merge certain items to make like Molotovs and all that sort of stuff. And you only have so much room. So you're finding yourself shorthanded when big like situations come up or whatever. And the driving sequences are complete bullshit. You're constantly going to find yourself restarting the driving sequences over and over and over. Basically because there's no checkpoint system in these long driving things, and pretty much the town's gone to hell, it's falling apart, and you're gonna die quite a bit because you don't know where to maneuver. I think the only reason I ever got through the first one is because a guy named Darksoft that hangs out in our channel helped me through that. So, yeah, definitely Alone in the Dark is one of those games I'd just be like, yo, don't go near it. Stay away. It's like a dog with rabies, you don't want to be near it. Another game that I would advise people to stay away from is a game called, oh shit, what's that game called? I don't even remember. I can't remember. Well, maybe you get two games to stay away from. Because like I said, there's not a lot of games that I've played where people should honestly stay away from it, I guess. But I can't really think of anything else. Let me think one last time about games that I have that I don't like. Oh, another one. L.A. Noire. I know a lot of people enjoyed this game. I finished this a while back. And basically, I didn't care for the ending. I know a lot of people enjoyed L.A. Noire, like I said. And I found myself enjoying it as well. But the story kind of drifts off like midway. And you start to forget about Detective Phelps and all that as a character. Basically because it changes characters midway through. You don't play as Phelps anymore. And it defeats the purpose of playing it if you're not playing with the same character. Like, I know that doesn't really make sense, but I don't know. It just ruined the experience for me. And the ending for it just really pissed me off. So that's basically why this one's on my list. It was a good game, but the ending is just shit. What other game? Oh, Red Faction Armageddon. Basically, this is going on here as a game that is just basically not up to par with its previous game. Red Faction Guerrilla is an amazing game. It's open world. It's gorgeous looking. You're on Mars. Pretty much everything's gone to hell, and you are the savior of pretty much Mars. As we're in Armageddon, you're just this scrub who goes into this new colony, and everybody starts coming to you with their problems, and everybody's relying on you. It was very, very linear. It wasn't as open as I'd like it to be. I did play the hell out of it when I first got it. I played the multiplayer. I played through the story. But it was very, very close. Like, go from point A to point B, back to B, then on to C, and then through the rest of the game. It was a lot like that. It wasn't to where it's like, okay, we want you to drive here, and then you can explore the map freely and get to point B however you want to. Which I missed in Armageddon, which I'm hoping if they do make another Red Faction, they look and they're thinking, shit, we messed up with this game because everybody loved Armageddon, or everybody loved Guerrilla, I mean, and didn't particularly care for Armageddon. And I apologize for my camera getting dark. If I turn a certain way, it does that. Number 5 would have to be Lost Planet 2. I wanted this game for such a long time. I was trying to convince myself that Lost Planet 2 was definitely far superior to the first one. That it improved on a lot of things, which it did improve on some things, but it was to where when you were playing it, it had a lot of free range difficulty thrown into it. Pretty much you couldn't experience difficulty at your own pace. It was, you go in and basically it would just be like in your face with all the difficulty, and it pretty much made it unplayable. There was some parts in that game where I was just like, how do you do this by yourself? How are you supposed to do this by yourself? There's no fucking way. You would just get bombarded with enemies. You'd be short on ammo. And it just appeared to be one of those games where Capcom talked it up for the biggest time, for the longest time, and was just like, yo, this game is going to be great. And then you play it and you're just like, what a fucking letdown. Although, Lost Planet 3 is looking amazing right now, so hopefully that game will shape up to be something bigger than 2 was. And just as a bonus, I'm going to throw in, I had another game I was thinking about when I was talking about, I can't think of it now. Oh well, I know what we'll talk about. Pretty much the next category, or whatever, would be biggest letdown of 2012. I didn't own this game, but I think I've watched enough people play it and played the demo to formulate my own opinion somewhat. Actually, no, I've played maybe roughly 2 hours of the game. I didn't beat the game, but I played enough, like I said, to form an opinion. Resident Evil 6. I know there's a lot of people that hate this game, despise this game, and I'm with them. I'm on board. I was on the fence. Chad and Joseph know this. I was on the fence basically the entire time they talked about Resident Evil 6. I was like, oh man, it looks good. It looks good. I can't wait to play it. Then the public demo came out, and I played it and was like, what the fuck were they going for? This feels nothing like a Resident Evil game anymore. The only parts that I found myself enjoying were Leon's, and I think a lot of people agree with me. Leon's parts were good, but it was still shit, pretty much. And they're actually, I remember reading an article where people were going to boycott Resident Evil 6, but face it, you know there's those people who are going to buy it, so it wouldn't even matter if they did. I'm not saying Resident Evil 6 was, like, super terrible. I get what they were going for. Like, they wanted to try something new, but it just wasn't the right thing to do. Like, you pissed off a lot of people, and a lot of people did not like the game. I know I had a couple friends buy it, and they were like, dude, the story's great, and then, like, a day later I get a call going, man, it all went downhill from yesterday. I was like, sucks, man, because Resident Evil 5 was good. I know a lot of people don't like Resident Evil 5 either, but I thought 5 was pretty damn good. But but it'll never be as good as 2 or 4 or whatever. Even Veronica was good, so. Yeah, Resident Evil 6 definitely stands the test of time to be one of the shittiest games Capcom's made in the last 5-10 years total. So yeah, Resident Evil 6 is definitely the game that is the top disappointing game of 2012. Now, for the next category is going to be upcoming games that I'm mostly looking forward to. Games that I've seen trailers for, stuff that I heard about. The first one is going to be the new Tomb Raider game. It looks amazing. I know Joseph won't agree with me on this. We've had our arguments about this, about it being a reboot and stuff. I honestly feel it's nice to see a game get rebooted after so many years. As they started to show with Tomb Raider, it kind of started to diverge from what it originally was. It started taking on like an Underworld and what's the other one? Evolution or whatever it was called. It started to kind of like take a different path. But I mean, I see what it was trying to do, but it wasn't necessarily the right choices. Although I did enjoy the game, so I'm not complaining. Which is kind of why I'm excited for the new one, to see what's really going to happen with it and where it's going to take Laura as a character, and pretty much what we're going to learn about her, because it kind of looks like a younger Lara Croft. But I could be wrong. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for that. Number 2 would be the new Devil May Cry. I have played the demo. I do enjoy it, actually. I thought I was going to be like, oh man, Devil May Cry is a great game, but I don't know about him rebooting the series. Actually really good. I like the character of Dante, the new look of him and everything. Like I said, Joseph won't agree with me on this either. But yeah, I actually found myself enjoying the demo when I was hanging out with Chad. He told me to try it, and I tried it, and it's fairly good. I was super surprised that I actually enjoyed that, because I was really on the fence about it at first. So, yeah, definitely that. Another upcoming game that I am looking forward to is, I think they showcased it at E3. I think it's, what is it? That Star Wars game? I can't remember what it's called. The new Star Wars, I'll put it that way. Regardless if it was a tech demo built for PC or console or whatever it was made for, even possibly next gen, I don't think it'll be out this year. But if it does happen to come out, I will definitely be playing that. I like Star Wars. I loved The Force Unleashed. And I'm hoping, they're saying this one's more around the bounty hunter type thing. So if I get to play as, oh my god, I can't remember his name. Boba Fett, that's his name. If I get to play as Boba Fett or somebody like Boba Fett, I'm sold. So, yeah, let's get that new Star Wars game out, guys. Another game that I'm looking forward to is called, I think it's Beyond Two Souls, or something like that. From the same people who made Heavy Rain and Indigo Prophecy. Definitely looking forward to that. I've played Heavy Rain. I borrowed Heavy Rain a while back, and it was really good. The narrative story kind of took me away to a whole new place and just immersed me into the game and let me enjoy it for what it was. And Beyond Two Souls is supposed to be along the same lines as that, so I'm definitely looking forward to trying out that game. Let's see. The other game that I want to talk about, whether I don't think it's going to be out this year, it's probably going to be on next gen console as well, is a game called Watch Dogs. It was showcased at E3 as well. The demo for it looked pretty badass, I'd say. It's kind of like you're a guy in a high-techy type world. And, like, they didn't really go into it, but I can't wait to see until we see more stuff about that. Like, that game is definitely going to be one of those games where a lot of people are going to get it, and there's going to be a lot of mixed opinions about it. But I have a feeling it's going to be a good game. Just, I can't wait to see more about it. Another game on my list, of course, this is probably going to be on everybody's list for an anticipated game. Grand Theft Auto 5. I've seen nothing but screenshots. I've read nothing but articles on Kotaku, Game Informer, 1UP, all kinds of different places. There's a guy named Champ Chong on YouTube. He talks about Grand Theft Auto all the time, and I enjoy watching his videos. And I'm just learning more and more shit about that game, and I'm so ready for another Grand Theft Auto game. Like, hands down ready for another Grand Theft Auto game. So, Rockstar, I'm waiting. I need it soon. I think it comes out in March, actually, so not too long, actually. Another game that I am looking forward to, as I've said, is Rainbow Six Patriots. I'm definitely looking forward to the new one. I am a big Rainbow Six fan of the previous franchises, the Vegas series or whatever. And I think there was a Rainbow Six Lockdown 3 or something like that. That was pretty good. I played it once or twice on the PlayStation 1, I want to say. It was okay, but it definitely, you can tell it's old and very aged. Another game that I'm looking forward to is, what is that game called? Shit, I can't remember. Well, damn. This sucks. I can't remember. Well, since there's nothing really off the top. Oh, I know what it is. God damn it. I'm looking forward to Dark Souls 2. This was shown at the Video Game Awards, and it was just a trailer pretty much being like, hey, it's picking up from where 1 leaves off. Yeah, I know those games are like super, super hard, but I enjoy playing them simply because of that. Holy shit, this is hard. Pretty much for that adrenaline, I guess, which is one of the reasons I actually enjoy that game. So, yeah. And another game that I'm looking forward to is another reboot. I don't understand why this game's getting rebooted, but from what the magazine that I was reading was talking about, the company that originally made it felt that the first one lacked in a lot of ways. They felt like it needed graphical improvement, technical improvement, just pretty much an overall revitalization, I guess, is the word I'm looking for, which would be the new Army 2. Me and Chad played the hell out of that game when we first got our PS3s. I think we got it maybe a month or two after we got our PS3s, maybe a little longer. And we played through it. It was very, very different for a shooter type game. But I found myself enjoying every bit of that game playing. Normally, when you hear me saying I enjoy a game, it's basically because I'm playing with somebody else. I'm a big fan of co-op games, so yeah. If you're a big fan of co-op games, some of these games are older games. I advise you to check them out as well. And basically, let's see, what's the last one? What's the last category? The last category, I will say, Game of the Year. My Game of the Year, like, I know The Walking Dead won Game of the Year, and yes, The Walking Dead is a beautiful game. It is immersive, it is saddening, it is keeps you in suspense, keeps you on edge for, like, when the new episodes weren't out, like, say you finished episode 1 and 2 wasn't out, it was suspenseful because you didn't know what your choices were going to affect in the next episode, and so on and so on. But seeing as how 5 ended, I can honestly say I'm looking forward to The Walking Dead Season 2, I guess. There's not really much talk of it with Telltale right now. I'm pretty sure they're going to do it. They have to, pretty much, to pick up the story from where it leaves off, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. I still got to play through all of the Season 1 because I haven't picked it up yet, but yeah, I'm really excited to see where The Walking Dead's going to go. Even if they do a different game, I'd still be sold because Telltale does really good games. I believe Telltale does Monkey Island. They did Back to the Future, Sam and Max. They did a bunch of good games. I even believe they did Grim Fandango, and they redid not Maniac Mansion. What's the other one? Day of the Tentacle, I believe. I'm almost positive. I could be wrong. I think that might have been Lucas Entertainments or LucasArts or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Whatever they are now. But yeah, anyways, back to Game of the Year. My Game of the Year... This is a hard one for me, actually. I know what my Game of the Year is. My Game of the Year would probably end up being Guild Wars 2. Simply because of the reasons I previously stated. That the game's amazing. It has all this different stuff that is added to it. It's constantly changing. They're constantly excuse me. They're constantly adding things to it and just being evolved further and further. It's just everything about that game is just so good. Like, I find myself sitting and playing for what I think is a little bit of time, and then I'll look at the clock and it's like 4 hours later. I'm like, whoa, I really sunk a lot of time into this, and it continues to be that way. Guild Wars is really good. Like I said, it's in the last video. I don't think it's still on sale, but I think there's still like the friend trial and all that different stuff. So yeah, for a lot of people that really wanted to check that out, please go check it out. If you're into MMOs like World of Warcraft, RuneScape, EverQuest, shit like that, Guild Wars 2 is definitely stacks up to World of Warcraft. Like, I know World of Warcraft's been around longer. A lot of people were like, that's the best one. Guild Wars 2 is like eye to eye with you, man. It's fucking amazing. But yeah, that pretty much just wraps up this video, guys. I know it's kind of long. It was going to be just mainly my top 10 games, but I felt, why not think of some stuff to throw into the video and make it a little longer? And I definitely made it longer. Probably about an hour-long video. But yeah, it's still snowing, so that's kind of cool, I guess. It's really starting to add up out there. But, yeah, I will, this will conclude the video. I'm going to try to talk to Chad and Joseph about doing one of these as well to see how we all differ, I guess. There's another War Z video coming. It should be up now, actually. As well as the Puzzle Quest video will be up soon, I promise. I know I keep saying it's going to be up. I keep forgetting to upload it, and I'm still having some issues with the audio and with all the transition shit. I might have to try a new program and just fucking scrap it and just start over, which I hate to do because I know, I'm almost positive there's some people who actually want to see the videos, but I'm not 100%. I'm going to be like 4% positive that people want to see the video. It'll be out soon, I promise, but I'm putting other stuff out to keep you guys held over for the holidays, because there probably won't be any videos after the holidays for like 2 or 3 days. Don't take my word for that, because I always try to upload, so. But there might not be, so. Also, tomorrow is Christmas. As I stated in the vlog, there is a late night stream, probably around 9, 10, 10:30-ish. We're going to be hanging out, probably playing Terraria, Minecraft, Killing Floor possibly. Chad might play some Dragon Age. We might just play whatever. We don't really have anything set in stone at this point in time, which is kind of bad considering it is tomorrow. We don't really have anything set in stone. But we'll figure something out. I promise you that. And aside from that, there's also a New Year's stream that we're going to do going from the 31st into the 1st. I said that in the previous video as well. It's going to be probably the same group of people. It's going to be me, Chad, Joseph, and Mike. Maybe Josh as well. I'm not 100% sure what people are doing for New Year's. I know I'll be at home like I always am, and probably be ringing in the New Year's with you guys, playing games, and just hanging out and all that different stuff. I might have Far Cry 3 by then, so I might do some of that as well, because I know there's a lot of people that want to see me play Far Cry, so I feel honored to be the person you watch to play Far Cry, by the way. But yeah, other than that, that concludes this video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this. I will eventually, like I said, get Chad and Joseph's perspective. Feel free to make up your own categories and ask me questions. Feel free to list your top 10 games in the comments. I would love to know what you guys say. You know, it might give me an idea of games I could try and check out, maybe possibly stream even. Because I haven't played every game, let's face it. I've played a lot of games, but not every game. And I'm pretty sure there's games that people are like, this is way better, you should try it. I wouldn't mind trying some games that you guys like, so that could happen. Also, I'm going to try to start implementing into the Twitch channel. There's going to be a community decides the game type thing. I meant to talk about this in the last video. A community decides the game type thing, so your game might end up in that list. So yeah, that's why I want to know what you guys want or say, pretty much. But other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm probably just gonna go relax. I'm not really gonna do anything today. I'm probably gonna watch the snowfall and hang out, talk to Chad, and maybe text people. I don't really know. But I smell cookies cooking. Man, that's a hard one. I smell cookies baking. We'll put it that way. And I'm probably going to go grab a couple. So, you guys have a happy holidays, regardless of what you celebrate, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Have a happy holidays. If you plan on drinking, like I've said before, stay inside. Don't be out drinking and driving in this crazy-ass weather. And be safe. I look forward to seeing you guys at the late-night Christmas stream, where it'll probably get crazy like it always does. So, I will see you guys then. And I hope that you guys get the gifts that you want, and even if you don't, be grateful you got something, because there's a lot of people who ain't got shit. Other than that, later guys.